Hi, Moguls. It's Dr. T here, and I'm coming to you with another multi-million-dollar upgrade. So I really invite everybody to receive it today, knowing that this kind of upgrade can really transform your reality, allow you to live like a very powerful, influential mogul, which is just a great leader of society. It's going to make it so you can elevate humanity, build whatever kind of personal empire you would like to build, grow a beautiful family dynasty that is multi-generationally wealthy, and really just make a great contribution to your community and society as a whole. The focus that we're doing today is about creating purposeful partnerships and really being able to live like a wealthy mogul. And again, that word really means a powerful, influential person. And it's not just about a particular way, some exact type of lifestyle that somebody has to live with a certain level of things uh, or something in it. It's about being your most powerful, positively influential self, contributing to society in a way that feels very purposeful to you, very uniquely what it is that you're here to do. But being in that power and feeling wealthy that way, right? And wealthy is also a term that sort of got hijacked by just the thought of money or riches and fame. And really, wealthy is what it actually means to you, what makes you feel abundant and prosperous. And that's a much larger definition. So, keeping that in mind, our upgrade today is about creating purposeful partnerships so that you can live like a wealthy mogul in a way that you would like to. Now, I'm going to introduce this is one of my purposeful partners, which is TJ. So, since he's chiming in, I might even just have him sit here with me through this upgrade. He is one of my partners in life. He is one of my purposeful partners and helps and supports me in everything that I do to really bring a good contribution to the world. So, when we're talking about purposeful partnerships, we're really talking about all of our different relationships. And yet, the more those relationships have uh, larger stakes in them or larger opportunities, we can definitely be referring to that major life partnership that a lot of people have with what we consider our like romantic domestic partners. But really, I'm inviting everyone to think about partnership in a whole new way, in a way that is thinking about the connections that we have, the collaborations that we're in, the people in our neighborhood, the people in our building, the people in our country club, the people that we are connected with, and might be people at work in our department, people that are on our team with a company that we own. It certainly can be our own family relations, and especially that one's really big. But I'm really inviting you to think about partnerships in a whole new way, that your relationships are effectively partnerships. And my invitation for you for this multi-million-dollar upgrade is connecting to all of your relationships as a partnership and really considering a way in which each of your relationships, i.e., partnerships, can be something very purposeful. And while I'm never here to invite some level of stress or pressure into your life as some form of an upgrade, the invitation, however, is to upgrade that concept of a relationship into a purposeful partnership. The couples that we've transformed over the years consider this, and we refer to this and have a lot of fun with it as our power couple partnerships. But really, all of our relationships, I think, when they're at their best, do have an opportunity to keep being more and more refined and defined as to what their purpose is in any given chapter of that relationship. And this happens a lot anyway, but we don't always consider it. We know we have relationships that people tend to say might be for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and things like that. But we've also gotten a lot of programming in our world that gets very confusing. We've been programmed to think every single relationship needs to go on forever and ever, or it's a failure, which is interesting because we all have plenty of relationships that may shift or change. It could be a relationship or a partnership with our dental provider or our, one of our healthcare providers, someone that services our car and keeps our family flowing down the road. But all of our relationships have an opportunity to be partnerships. They have an opportunity to have more definition in them. And even if it is something, for example, a relationship with a chiropractor is what's coming to mind. And that relationship, you could think, well, this is my chiropractor and this is who this is. But really, that relationship has a purpose, and it may be the initial one that is about, creating optimal health. Someone might think of it as they're alleviating back pain. Someone else might think of it as creating optimal health. Someone else might think of it as taking what that optimal health is and changing the world with your company, being a better father or a mother because your back is feeling. But ultimately, when we connect at a higher level, all of our relationships have the opportunity for an upgrade into more powerful, purposeful partnerships. We now start to play the video game at a higher level, and we have an opportunity for everything to grow and evolve in a more intentional way rather than sort of leaving some things to default in what a lot of humans do, or maybe we've been programmed to do in a certain way because a lot of people seem to be doing it, but just sort of in the like, let's see what happens category, which is available to us because we can play the game any way we want to. However, our intentionality can really drive forward the creation of these relationships into purposeful partnerships. And that's my invitation for you to consider and see if you'd like to just make that upgrade that way. So, in some relationships, you could also decide this purposeful partnership is for complete exploration and adventure, and it's always about just like seeing what unfolds. Those are all options since we're working with an infinite toolbox of infinite reality that we can create from. And at the same time, the more intention we have around it, everything that I know about the amazing method, the method of all methods of intentionality allows us to design and shape, be co-creators together of something. And what I find when I have my highest intentions in something, and the good news is, everyone, it can even be a little bit of intention. It drives forward the creations in much more of the way that we want them. And what it does is it shifts what can happen when we don't have a lot of purpose and intentionality around something, including our relationships or purposeful partnerships. And we can end up in some form of chaos. And we can also land where we didn't mean to land in those experiences. So the universe goes toward entropy, which is another term for chaos or dysfunction. And even though there is order to it that's quite magnificent, with all the human dynamics, there can be so much of that chaos that the more we shape and define things through our intentions, and then when we share that with even one other person in this kind of purposeful partnership, let alone the kind of partnerships that can be there with two, three, four more, lots larger groups of people that we then start to refer to as a community or a group or a community. Now you have superpowers shaping that partnership into some more purposeful relationship that is creating something. And whether that creation is a really great partnership of enjoyment, of joy, of fun, of flow, a project, whatever it might be, when I really look at it, and I invite you to consider this, is like we're all creating something new into the world at any given time. So we could ask ourselves, what would we want to create together and bring into the world if this relationship could be a purposeful partnership and just bring something and birth something into the world that may not exist in that exact way. That can often be and often is, if we say, take the case of like a friendship, um, it can be just something so magnificent because we all know that our friends are our chosen family, and so many beautiful things happen from that. So many great collaborations and companies and wonderful projects and creations occur. At the same time, I always have a sense that we can go degrees more intentional and more purposeful. And we have such an infinite level of possibilities with which to create. There's something really beautiful when we start to inquire with ourselves and say, if it is you and a romantic partner, romantic domestic partner, you and your daughter or son, or you and your aunt and uncle, a coworker, a friend, a neighbor, you can start to connect in a little bit deeper and say, if we were to define what this relationship could create in the world, what would the purpose of this relationship be? What would that purpose be? And what would we want it to create? What do we want to make together and bring into the world from our interaction, engagement, and connection? And again, moguls, this is not to add some level of pressure to life. It's to add more of the reality of the understanding that we're all powerful creators. We're creating reality, whether we're in intentionality or not. And the good news, so much of our intentions are on board that a lot of amazing things are being created, and we don't have to put in a lot of effort all the time. And yet the good news is there's always an opportunity to create in more definition, and we can go in and out of more defining things more and refining them, and we can also loosen the reins on that and say, well, let's see what will be created with what we've already invested into the process. So we have a range of possibilities. That's the fun of being a person. And I'll also invite you to know that if somehow the different relationships that you have in any context, again, some type of a familial relationship, a romantic relationship, a professional one, if anything is not at a level that you would like it to be, or as purposeful as you might really enjoy it to be, the good news is it's just about deciding that, defining that, interacting with the people in your life in such a way that may seem unfamiliar and brand new to you. It may seem new to them, but the other good thing is that humans absolutely love new. And you might be thinking this, sounds strange or something like that. And yet, you don't, for all you know, the people in your life are thinking, well, I was thinking the same thing. And it's so great that you mention it. So, a simple way to bring this upgrade through, if you'd like to enter these waters and see what it might be like to bring each of the relationships in your life into another level of purposeful partnership and what that could create, the simple line of inquiry that you can bring into the process is to ask yourself, as well as the people that you're in relationship with, what is the purpose of this partnership? What is it? Allow the answer to come in. Um, what do we want it to be? So you have different lines of inquiry. The first one is, just ask it, what is it? Because you might just receive the answer effective immediately. It might say to bring more love, to bring more fun, to bring more hope to people, to bring in some other type of innovation, to be fit together, to elevate each other, to show people in your neighborhood what great neighbors are. It can have any shape or form. This is the fun of being a powerful creator and creating in an infinite way that you feel really called to do. And the other opportunity is, if that answer doesn't maybe come right away, or it does, but you'd like to learn more about what might be available to you, you can then ask another line of inquiry, which is, what do we want it to create? Because you might first say, what is the purpose? And the answer will already be there. If it's not as clear, you can say, well, what do we want to create with it? What would we like to bring into the world through the collaboration of yourself and any other person or group of people? You can also, if it's not all clear, or if it is really clear, but you'd like to know more, you could just go into further depth of inquiry that allow you to see, well, what would be the biggest, positive impact we could make if our relationship went into a purposeful partnership. uh, what is the largest, outcome that we want to create if we were able to create anything? So there's these lines of inquiry that just take you and just allow you to go down a path that is going to just create what you're intending. And since you're already typically in a grouping of relationships anyway, this is just a real opportunity to expand things, to see what's available and possible, to elevate the connection, redefine it, train to grow and evolve, stay fresher, and continue to have a check in and evolve what it is that both you and another human being, and in this example I'm just using two people, but it can be more than two people, but what two amazing dynamic humans or a group of dynamic humans may be being called together to create, and what that can possibly be, and actually the layers of things, because it's often a lot more than one thing. And there's so much beautiful opportunity that the more I connect to that, and even though I love the language of the world, there is also fun ways that you can raise your frequency by elevating the language of what we refer to something. And even if everyone around you never uses that terminology, and say we take the concept of husband or wife, and everybody uses that. That's my husband, that's my wife. And they never use the word partner, or it's a friendship, and that's not typical, which it's typical. It's not necessarily typical. It's more reserved for things like a business partner, or maybe people who, when they weren't allowed to get married, they referred to themselves as partners. And maybe people around you are not necessarily using that upgraded language. But my invitation to you is to go first, to be willing to transform your reality. Transforming your relationships will transform your reality, but transform it and be a leader who does that, even if, and often, especially if nobody around you is referring to that. So you might be the first one in your group that introduces this concept of, well, we're in a partnership together. Well, what is that? That's that your partner, that your husband, that's your wife, and brings about something new that allows an upgrade to others, a discussion. It might seem strange to them. All of that is just par for the course in innovation. And we don't always have to have everyone around us doing the same exact thing for us to be connected to what we want to create and transform. So if this feels like it might be intuitive, go ahead and open up your sense of, leading and pioneering something new and speaking about it in a new way. And sometimes the more strange it sounds, the more on track it is. And the way you can always test if it is actually doing what you're intending it to be doing is if it actually describes what you actually intend. And whatever you're deciding about how you transform your reality, which is done first and foremost primarily with the change of language, which changes your frequency, you can use this upgrade very specifically for how I'm giving it to you, but you can also use it as a template for how you can take anything in your life, decide how you'd like it to be in a more enhanced, upgraded way, and begin to move in that direction of renaming it something that gives it an opportunity to become some new version of itself, to become more purposeful, creative, powerful, positively impactful, like a mogul, and play around with these kinds of concepts of just putting your intentional reality into the way that you refer to things, and therefore have a greater potential to create them in what it is that you really mean. It's one of these little tricks of the trade here, because if we are calling something one thing, but we're intending it to be another, without knowing it, we are often creating a different reality, even if it's a slightly altered version than what we actually intend. And the good news, we can look to ourselves to say, where can I enhance and empower my language so that it will manifest, which is what the manifesting process is. It will manifest through the language into reality, make itself more into what it is that you intend, where you get to inhabit that, enjoy it. And of course, the best part is it's a ripple effect that shares itself with everybody. So moguls, my invitation for you is to transform your relationships into purposeful partnerships, creating whatever reality it is that feels intuitive to you. I'm really glad that you came and took the upgrade here. My recommendation is for you to internalize it, take it all the way into your being, allow it to allow it to start creating in your most unique, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. That literally gives a signal that says, I'm on board with that. It helps this channel and myself and my team know what is supporting you, what you'd like to see more of. It's also really helpful to share this with somebody who might be in need of this upgrade. And when you think about all the times that you have been needing an upgrade, whether you've been saying that or sharing it with someone or not, but it's come your way and someone said, hey, I've got this great piece of advice that I just received. You can be that person creating a flow of reality. And my favorite part of reality is when we step into our mogulhood and we create a flow of prosperity in the greatest way by giving upgrades that are worth millions of dollars, because this upgrade alone is just that. It's a multi-million-dollar upgrade, not just in this lifetime, not just in your lifetime or your reality, but in everyone around you who has an opportunity to receive it, get on board, and help create the very environment, the reality, the community, the world of brothers and sisters all thriving and operating at a high level mogul reality that we want. And when we are people who share the prosperity, we become part of the flow rather than a block to that reality coming in, because the universe knows and God knows exactly where to send upgrades through. And if they come to you and get passed on to other people to upgrade more of the reality, then you get to become that much more of a receiver of that prosperity. Also, however this process might be upgrading you, that's really resonating with you, it would be amazing for you to comment and share what part about it is most resonating with you. That also reinforces this upgrade. Whenever we are feeling it, thinking, writing it, typing it, sharing it, now we've taken it in a full sensory experience. All right, moguls, you know the MO here, the mogul MO. Great, great, great job moguling on up. Way to tune on in, and I'll see you on the next upgrade. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Okay.